Hey, Judy, how are you? It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
I'm wonderful. It's amazing to be seen. And yeah, it's so good to see you too.
Yep. So look, just for those that may not know who you are, just give a background. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Something that would make these people say that when she speaks, I need to listen.
Oh, well, my name is Judy Johnson. I am born and raised in Jamaica. And when my family immigrated to the States, I was interested in the arts when I saw my sister compete in the Jamaican pageantry. It was there I fell in love with the arts. And upon arriving in the States, I didn't go the traditional route. I was interested in modeling and commercial print, and along the way, God has blessed the step to be made aware to me. And I have since, when my family came here, we went to the DC market, but then I went to the Atlanta market, and now I'm here in Los Angeles pursuing the dream, pursuing the goal of becoming a successful, by my definition, a successful actress and filmmaker. So, as I'm here in Los Angeles, I've been here for 10 years. I've been in the industry for, I would say I'll say a solid 10. Having come to LA, I'm going to start the clock over when I got here. And I've had some success. I've had some great opportunities, but I'm still in pursuit of what I consider to be success. So, um, finding my way. Hopefully, I can help guide others as they decide to not just go on a path of entertainment and filmmaking and being an actor, but just on a path of whatever it is that you're looking to aspire to achieve.
Got you. Well, the reason most of the people are really curious to follow this series is because of the recent changes in the industry. I mean, there's just a lot of uncertainty. I know in the area where I live, a couple of major theaters have shut down. There's just been a lot of changes. So I'll just start off with the first question. You give me the
Okay.
answer and then you can expound on it. But in your opinion, is Hollywood dead?
In my opinion, no, Hollywood is not dead, but there is definitely an evolution taking place. I think the traditional way of Hollywood has been disrupted. And that disruption came by the streaming platforms, um, just audience in general, how we consume, and the ability for production on a global scale, right? I think that there is a power dynamic that is shifting. And I think that independent filmmakers have more of an opportunity to create. And that in itself, it's a wonderful thing for filmmakers, independent filmmakers, but the studio model itself is changing. And I think as the shifting is happening, it can feel like something is dying, it can feel like something is changing, but it truly is the evolution of it. And not to mention AI itself. AI itself, the strikes that we have endured, which was very difficult, and you still feel the remnants of it. And I also recognize there has what seems to be budget restriction, budget cuts. It just seems like there is a different dynamic or a different approach. I wouldn't say that Hollywood is dead. I definitely think Hollywood is evolving.
Um, I have a couple of questions that came. It's one thing you mentioned before was y- your dream. You have your picture of your dream and what it looks like. I'm sure when you first had that picture, obviously it was before this shift. Can you tell me what that picture looked like to you then? And then tell me right now, what does it look like given the evolution?
Okay, so here's the thing. The picture of success for myself as a filmmaker has nothing to do with the industry. It has nothing to do with being on TV. It has nothing to do with fame. I want a quality life. I want freedom, and I want opportunity. And I chose the entertainment field as my vehicle to do so. Considering the fact of the changes that is going on, what it feels like for me is a longer route. What could have taken, I guess, a shorter amount of time feels as if it's taken longer. And who knows whether that is because of the changes or just because of my trajectory. But success for me looks like traveling with my family, um, quality people, quality experience, quality memories. And yes, a working actor, one that has the ability to say, I know in 2025 what everything looks like. I am projected to work on this project. And when I wrap that out, I'm going to work on this project. And, you want to have a timeline of what your year looks like. So success for me is being a working actor, one that financially is supporting my family, financially is growing and opening doors for other people. Now, that is my life. I am still paying my bills by that method. Granted, my overhead had to change a little bit. I can't spend as much as I want to. I can't do as much as I want to because I'm just financially responsible considering the current times. Um,
Hmm.
So yeah, I still consider myself successful despite the disruption that's happening in the industry.
Um, with the evolution going on right now, so when you started earlier in your career and certain doors that have opened for you and uh, you've moved and you right now with the evolution, how has that affected your current situation?
In terms of my geographic location, or
Not necessarily geographical, but like maybe some of the did you changes or adjustments you had to make in finding films, maybe auditions, like has this evolution that the industry is going through, has it affected your career in a good way, a bad way, or what adjustments have you had to make where you can continue to move forward? Because there's you've seen videos and clips floating around and you hear people saying, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to full time, and you hear all kinds of stories. So being that you're doing it full time right now, how has it affected you
okay.
in your current career?
The thing that stuck out the most to me in what you said is move forward. And I'm optimistic in the sense of I've always ascribed to this notion of support your craft until your craft can support you. When I worked in DC, I worked in the government. When I worked in Atlanta, I worked as a recruiter with a placement agency. And when I came to Los Angeles, I worked as a contractor where send me to ABC, send me to the desk, let me cover someone that's not there. Because one, it gave me the landscape of understanding Los Angeles to a degree, and it also paid my bills. Now, moving forward for me meant okay, if I take this job at X amount of income, then the idea is I want a different type of role at a different level of income, of a different opportunity on a bigger platform. That's forward motion for me. The issue that I've experienced that isn't necessarily an issue is I've worked on certain platforms longer than I would have anticipated to work on.
Hmm.
And ultimately, my perception is it's still moving forward, but at a different pace because where I
Okay.
want to be in my career, I'm not there yet. And I think a lot of people would advise me, don't take XYZ roles. You've already done that. You've already did this. I'm like, well, you gonna pay my bills? Are you gonna cover the next six
Right.
months? Because that
Right.
job will cover the next 6 months, as opposed to the next job I want will cover the next 5 years. So when I think of progression and I think of things, because right at the end of the strike, yes, your girl was online sending out resumes. Because as a Jamaican, as a mother, as an individual, as an artist, I will always subscribe to support your craft until your craft can support you. And if
Right.
that means going to get a job, then that is admirable, that is respectable, that is what you're supposed to do until,
Hmm.
because if not, again, this industry does not have an expiration date. You can start in your 80s and be massively successful. It
Mhm.
all depends on your perception of what reality and success look like for you. So when I talk to individuals and they're like, well, I'm working this job or I'm working that, I'm like, do it. I respect that.
Mhm.
And allow the space for when opportunities come to be prepared for it as well.
What is your opinion as far as, I guess, after the strike or and everything that came to some sort of an agreement? Have you seen a difference being union that has worked out in your favor or not so much? Or what's your how's that been? What does that look like for you?
It's interesting because what I'm learning is, as far as the details of the output of the strike, I haven't necessarily seen the changes. Ultimately, a lot of the work that I've done, I'm like, where is the retro? Where is um, the bucket of money that the networks are sitting on that apparently we should have a cut of the pie? I haven't
Mhm.
seen that. I need to dive deeper to understand, do I have a claim to that income? Or how do I position myself? You, as talent, you also have to understand the dynamic of the business of this, the nature of business when it comes to filmmaking. It's not just the artist, it's also the business. And you
Mhm.
got to have a good team, whether it's your manager, your agent, or an attorney, making certain that whatever you ask for, you can get. I understand that people are able to ask for residuals on the back end on certain streaming projects. And that's all based on your contract. So if you have a good team that can negotiate on your behalf to make requests, and you are in a space in your career in parallel to that particular project, it can benefit. Me, myself, I've produced on projects, and I'm not gonna lie, lately I'm like, I don't want vanity credit. I don't want a pretty
Right.
producer
Mhm.
credit on my resume. What I want is intel. I would love to
Right.
learn how to do certain things. Now I need to know what is that you want to learn, Judy. But um, no, when it comes to the opportunities, independent filmmakers are still working and still growing, but they are on a very limited budget.
Mhm.
And networks have not a lot of shows happening, and you have so many POCs. You got a lot of talented people. So unless I can
Mhm.
convince the casting director, the writers, the showrunners, the network that you need a POC in this role, then it's just a matter of, you know, getting the deals, finding the deals, and working it to your advantage. So I'm working
Right.
on that.
So if I understand you correctly, you're starting to expand a little bit outside of the acting. Like that's your passion, but you're starting to open yourself up to take more behind the camera type situations and stuff like that to diversify
For
so that
sure.
I guess it create more opportunities for you.
For sure, for myself and for others. I love brokering situations where, hey, this, this production needs this actor. I'd love fostering relationships. I love having conversations with individuals that say they're investors. I don't like wasting my time though, but I'm
Mhm.
open to understanding,
Right.
what does this mean? And even as a writer, I'm writing more. I'm collaborating more. I'm looking for ways to allow my artistic expression to breathe and live and not become dormant. Um, so yeah,
So
it legitimately is finding what works for you.
right. So right as in when you say as a writer, like you as a do you have a dream script for yourself or a dream idea? Or you that or you mean just writing in general or
I was privileged to work on a sitcom.
mhm.
I've had the opportunities to write on others, their shorts,
Okay.
um, all independent based. But as of lately, I've been collaborating with other writers. And even
Right.
more so, I'm learning do it yourself, Judy.
Mhm.
Learn and fumble forward, fail forward to understand how to maneuver. There are projects that I'm slated to be in. But again, once the network releases, give us the green light, I sit in the writer's room. I want to participate in the development of a script, the development of a character. And for myself, it gives me the intel on how I can approach my screenwriting.
Hmm.
How can I create stories that are engaging and empowering and interesting for our audience to watch, for me to watch. If I want to
Right.
watch it,
Right.
y'all gonna want to watch it too.
So just real quick, because I don't want to steal the camera time. It's more important what you have to say. But what pushed me in this direction? Because I've been doing independent movies for some time now. When I first
Mhm.
started, our only options was the Blockbusters of the world and Walmart and places like that. But all of that has changed now, and it has opened up for filmmakers like myself, where with the internet you can do a movie, get it online, and generate money from it. What and if you know I'm happy to hear the things that you're saying, and that you started out and your passion is writing. Now you're opening yourself up to other things because those opportunities are out there now. What would you say to that actor, that person that's just at the beginning, they want to get started, like, I want to get into the industry. um, what would you say to them that might be a little different than how you approached it when you first got started?
Well, you know what's interesting? I think the advice is the same because there is absolutely no blueprint. There's absolutely no way you can say, well, this worked for that person. Perhaps it will work exactly the same for me.
Hmm.
For all individuals, I always tell them, what resources do you have in your local, what resources do you have in your local community? So depending on where you are, is it the community center? Is it the church play? Is it student films? Is it whatever it is, optimize growth where you are and then look to collaborate outside of that. I think what
Hmm.
is so powerful is the power really is in the audience's hand, the content creator's hand. Look at social media. Look at how people have collaborated and create such an audience that they reserve the right to create whatever they want to create
Hmm.
and make money from it. So I would tell someone looking to start out, you don't necessarily have to come to Los Angeles to do that because we operate in a global space. Wherever you are, you can make it work. Now, Hollywood provides you accessibility to the network, to the mecca of where everyone seems to assemble, to meet, to collaborate, to work, to strike deals. So if you're new, find ways to collaborate with the people that you have in your network, whether it's local or whether it's across the world on social media.
Hmm.
Um, create, create. One thing that is very striking is I have had opportunities not go my way because of my social following. And I don't know how to put on a show on social media to say, hey, look at me, look at me. Kind of feel exposed on social media. So I'm very private, even with the stuff that I put out.
Hmm.
So not looking for approval, but to do it. So create your own skits and put it out there. Even if it's bad, you'll get a bad
Right.
review. But consistency is key. So just keep getting better. And when the doors and the opportunities align, be ready. Like stay ready. Whether that is in class or monologue or reading plays or going to the plays or studying, not just consuming for the sake of entertainment, but study with a keen eye and ask questions. I would always say at this point, man, knock down the doors. You won't if you already have a no, why does it hurt to just get the official no? You already know it's a no, just get it. Get the no.
Right.
And don't stop. If this is what you really want to do, allow the doors to reveal themselves to you as you whether you think you're going the traditional route or the non-traditional route. Did that make sense?
It did make sense. And one of the things I wanted to, like, when I first started, I'll be honest, like, I have a passion. I have a passion for filmmaking, but I was looking for that deal in my mind. I was looking for that Hollywood deal, that three picture deal as with the um, major distribution company, and so. what I like about what I've heard you say is that when you got into it, it was the passion driving you versus the fame.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know that now. What's your opinion on actors now? Like, is it more? What about those actors is more like, I want to be famous. I want to walk the red carpet. I want to see the cameras flashing, and it's more that than actually the passion.
Good for them. Good for them. For actors who are interested in the limelight, in
Hmm.
the cameras and the red carpet and the glory of the fans running up to you, I don't disagree with you. But if that's what drives you, if that's what excites you, then man, you want to wake up excited. You
Hmm.
want I wake up excited to say, oh, I'm gonna plan a trip for my family and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. We're gonna taste these foods and we're gonna experience. That's what excites me. So who am I to say what's important to me is more important to the next person? If it makes you get up and do, then do it. Now, I will tell you this: purpose will always catch up to you. And I'm a
Right.
firm believer that God gives you a desire for a reason. So if this thing is dangly and it's shiny over here and it puts me on a path to go get that dangly thing, and God meets me along the way and was like, that was a decoy to get you up and out. Here's what I really
Hmm.
have. And not just Hollywood, but in any career path that we choose, people choose it for notoriety, for respect. They choose it for money. They choose it for fame. They choose it to prove their family wrong. And then along the way, they realize, I just want to be happy. I didn't need this mansion. I don't need this car. I don't need this headache. I just want to be happy. I want to eat good, take care of my family. So, for whatever reason, anyone do, for whatever your reason is, I am a firm believer that good, it got you started. Now, be prayerful and mindful as to what it's leading you to. Because what I think is good probably is not good. So I'm like, all right, Lord, where is this leading me? I don't like this mistake. I don't like this problem. I don't like this setback. Another strike. Come on, Lord. We just got through the pandemic. Like, what is happening? Do I need to quit? Do I need to get another job? What do I need to do? I was almost at my break. That one role that now is on the back burner because we got to wait a whole 6 months to figure out who's going to be in this position to even give us the money. It's all these things. And I'm just like, all right, Lord, well, I don't want it if it's going to destroy me. I want to move according to what I'm supposed to experience in my journey along this form of art.
Right. Right. You said a lot of good stuff, right? So I'll make this last question. This what just popped in my mind. How do you balance all this?
Oh, I
You
don't.
know, the
I'm going
career.
crazy over here.
Oh, you are? Okay. I was gonna say, how do you balance this? And what would be your advice to people just trying to manage your career, your goals and family and what's gonna happen
um,
tomorrow?
I would say two things. Find purpose partners, right? And
Hmm.
don't pervert it. Find your purpose partners and don't pervert it. Don't call it what it
Understand.
is or what it isn't. If you're
Hmm.
my friend, I need to call you a friend and not an enemy. If you're my business partner, I need to call it a business partner and not a lover. Like
Right.
understand purpose partners. And for me, I always do this. I remember working um, in Washington D.C. and coming up McPherson Square to go to my good old government job. And there's a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that always says, "You don't need to see the top of the staircase. You just need to see one staircase at a time." And I
Hmm.
remember doing that. And the thing that kept me present was looking down at my feet. I was like, Judy, you're right here. So be present here. If you're on set, be present here. If you're at home, be present here. If you're on vacation, be present there. But I also learned this, Judy, if you're depressed, be present here. Don't worry about happiness. When you're happy, be present in happiness. Don't worry about depression. Like just be present because I can't multitask, nor do I want to. My brain is one of us got to walk through the door at a time. So I would say to people, what has worked for me is everything is working for my good. And I got to be present in my relationships, in my business deals, in my on set, off set. I just need to be present because if not, I will never show up to the fullness of, you will never get
Wow.
the full experience of Judi if I'm always somewhere else.
Wow. Judi, this has been a powerful conversation. You shared a lot, and I'm not even going to try to sum it up. I mean, everybody hears the video. I mean, because I can't. I might make it sound worse. I might bring it down some. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I really appreciate what you've
Can I
had to
say
say.
this
And
one thing?
yep.
Because I was like, what is that one thing that I can say to people, right?
Hmm.
This is what, and I wrote it down. So I said, um, if you're adaptable, you can make it anywhere. If you want to act to be discovered in the traditional sense, Hollywood still has its advantages, right? But if you want to create, if you want to own, if you want to control your career, the world is open to you. Hollywood isn't the only way, but knowing how to use Hollywood is definitely an advantage.
I laughed because I'm experiencing that firsthand. Literally, you're right. That's why this interview is happening right now. So, man, this is beautiful. Well, I know you got other things to do today. Thank you